Welcome to Ladies Who Lore, the only podcast that dives deep into urban legends and bottles of wine. We're your hosts, Sammy,
Lindsay, and Jessie.
Now fill up your glasses, gather around the fire, and let's lore. Well, hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys? How was your week?
Good. I'm waiting for my Taylor Swift cardigan to come.
You bought one? Which one?
I bought the 1989 one.
Stop.
But I'm worried it's going to come while I go home, because I'm going home soon. So I'm terrified, because she takes, years to send anything from her merch shop
Taylor?
that she's ever bought.
Personally?
Yeah, she's packed. Well, because she's on tour, so it takes her a while to pack.
And then she's in the factory when she's not on tour.
And then it's going to be Christmas. You want her to have a break,
So true.
So I got the notification, but I was like, well, this is actually an awkward time for this to come. Oh. So we'll see.
Well, if I'm ever in Santa Monica, I'll just swing by and pick up your package.
Hit us up if you're not here.
You're so welcome.
I think my neighbors care whether I live or die.
Right. Or they'll be like, oh, wow, Lindsay hasn't picked up her package in a long time. Maybe she's dead. Did you think about that?
Is that where you go?
Like, constantly.
Actually, kind of. Sometimes our neighbor had left packages for like weeks, a bunch of them, and we were like, "Are they dead?" They were fine.
They were just lazy because they were in there too,
and they don't get stolen.
Oh, I didn't know
guess
they
because they're within your building.
Yeah,
they do sometimes.
If they're like out of the
building,
package
gets stolen.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
it's a bad feeling.
People who steal packages of a place in hell specifically for them.
Do.
I agree.
It's awful. I was just in Lake Arrowhead, as you know, because you were also there.
I was,
Sammy. But it was beautiful. I still have to show you pictures. But we were driving up the mountain, and it was so foggy that I couldn't see.
No! I hate that drive already.
Right? It was like a foot in front of me. I couldn't see it, and it also, like, random rain splatters would happen. It was so freaky, but we made it. All was safe, obviously.
Good.
But for the whole rest of the trip, it was, like, rolling fog. It was so eerie. It was so fantastic.
That's spooky and fun.
It was the best.
Jeez.
And it felt like
gorgeous.
Genuine fall. Like, we don't really get that.
When we got up to the house, our friend got out of his car, and he was like, "This is, like, Until Dawn." And we were like, "Please stop." Have you ever played Until Dawn or heard of it?
No.
It's like a scary video game
it's a
that's
zombie
set.
game.
No. It's like...
Bo Burnham parodied it in Inside.
Did he?
Until Dawn?
I thought so.
I've seen Inside, but I don't remember that. Maybe.
When he's like, cry, and he's like...
Maybe.
I don't worry about it.
But all that to say, it is a very scary video game that is set in the woods in a house. And we were with fog. And we were like, please, for the love of God, do not say that to us.
And our other friend was like, it's kind of like Silent Hill. And I'm like...
Which is another very
shut up
video game.
That's a wild two things to say.
Yes.
Scary.
With no lights, mind you. There's not like normal LA lights on the streets in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it was like very dark and very scary.
It's fine. We made it. We're okay.
I'll just say this about your drive to Lake Arrowhead. We should do its own lore, because I'm terrified of it and I don't like it. And I was just talking to a girl over the weekend, actually. Shout out to this girl. She won't listen to this. Though she might. Because she has a podcast of her own. No shade to this girl. But I was talking to her and I was like, I'm really afraid of the drive to Lake Arrowhead. It scares me. I don't want to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I just went, and I was just like, I was ripping around corners. Nope. It was so fun. I didn't have a fear in the world. And I was like, well, there has to be a middle ground between us.
There has to be a fear in the world.
Yeah, you have to have some fear, and I have to have less.
But I think I'm the middle ground.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can drive this. It's fine.
Until I get to a curve that's pretty big, and I'm like, I can't.
And then I'm like, slow.
Yeah.
Wow. So she's the person I hate on the road.
Yeah, she was like, I'm just whipping.
Zoom,
and I was
zoom.
like, at what cost?
Yeah, literally.
Actually, yeah. I did see a ghost driving in Lake Arrowhead.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah. He was just standing on
this.
I forgot about this till this moment. We were going to the village and we passed this one corner. And I was like, Jessie, there was a full ghost right there. Full man.
It was our first time up.
Yeah.
Too. And I was like, do not say that to me. This is my new home. You can't say this. But I'm happy you did. I'm happy I know it. It just freaked me the fuck out.
No, so fair.
When
it freaked me out in the moment.
When you saw it, what made you sure it was not a man on the street?
It was like the
there
normal...
was no one there.
Okay.
Correct. And also, sometimes ghosts can appear like white, like ethereal. Yeah. And that's what it was. Like, it wasn't like a person. It was like an ethereal person.
Awesome.
It was so cool. This like
really
older man... He was carrying something, maybe like a shovel, I don't know, but yeah. But he had like some, maybe a cane, honestly, I don't know. But there was something in his hand that was going down to the ground. It was very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Super
cool.
Love that. I love that so much.
Well, anyways, I brought a wine today.
Goodness me.
It is a sparkling wine.
Ooh.
Wow.
Are you ready?
Yes.
This is your
wine.
wine.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, so it's a crystallized bottle. It's like hexagons? No. Diamonds.
Yeah,
these
you
are
got
diamonds. And it's so beautiful.
Oh, I know what it is. I maybe think.
Okay, well, it's called Opaline.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a Pinot Noir Brut Rosé. It's by...
It's a produit de français.
It's a produit de français. Oh, it's by Opaline. Fucking A, man. Look, I'm a sommelier. Don't worry about it.
And it has it has a really important circle right above Opaline that is sort of metallic-y, like, what is the word?
It's
opalescent. That's the word.
Yeah.
It's shiny, and to me, it looks like a full moon. And I'm thinking there are a lot of lores that occur around the full moon.
Werewolves? Okay, well, to not do...
Whatever.
To oppose what you're doing.
Okay, amazing.
I don't have anything. I need to think for a second. No, I feel like you're so right. That does look like a full moon. I think that's really great. I'm kind of obsessed with the texture of this bottle.
It's beautiful.
I don't know if it has anything to do with
it makes
your
me
lore.
wonder if this is like, we've got diamonds, we've got opals, like something to do with like gemstones or jewels. I don't know what that would be, but...
The Holy Grail. That's not really
How did you know?
That's not lore, is it? That's real.
That's real.
Jesus put it away when he was done drinking. Is that what? That's what the Holy Grail is, right?
I don't
Wait,
know.
is it?
Well, if you
I thought
read
that was separate.
The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. The Holy Grail is... Oh, what am I
thought that was more
of?
like King Arthur time.
I thought the Holy Grail was Jesus-y.
Ooh, you're probably right.
Well, Indiana Jones, it's Jesus-y.
I think it is. I think it's like a Jesus-y thing that got lost in history and people are trying to find it. But actually, I'm not going to spoil Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. You can figure out what
You've had enough time to read it, Jesse. It's okay.
True.
Well, I kind of just read it. And if someone spoiled
I
that
actually
for me,
haven't read it, to be fair.
I would be upset. I think we should go with werewolves. I think that's a smart thing.
werewolves is close.
So you're both wrong, or you were right about the texture.
Damn.
The texture of the bottle looks a little bit like tiny windows to me. And this lore that I'm doing has specifically 10,000 windows. It's the Winchester Mystery House.
Duh!
From a Winchester herself?
From a Winchester herself.
Oh, this is big.
Oh, fun.
This is huge.
I can't wait.
So this is why I was telling Jessie the other day, not about what lore I was doing, but I told her, I was like, I switched my lore. And it's because I wanted to do my name's lore first,
That's
obviously.
So smart.
So, let's get into it. Forgot about the wine.
Yeah,
Let's drink.
So let's
do
drink
that.
some wine. All right, give me your cup.
Let's pour some lore. Every time we do this, I'm
Pour
going to have a
some
different
lore.
catchphrase.
I like that.
Let's...
Thanks,
Ladies who pour. Ladies
Ladies who
who
pour.
soar.
Ooh.
Ladies who go.
Lazies?
Lazies.
Lazies who pour.
I keep hitting the bottle. It's heavy. Clink.
Clink!
Cheers.
That was a good pour.
Cheers. Oh, it gets in the nose.
I do love a sparkling wine.
It's effervescent.
It's very light. It's like
It is.
like apple-y.
Yeah, apple-y is good.
But I don't think the French like to use apples that much.
Most of the wines, when they say hint of blank, they aren't using that thing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just hints.
But what, they like waft the smell onto it?
No, you're just getting it from the plant.
Oh.
I did ask a sommelier about this recently because I found... I'm so sorry. I found that the rosés in Provence had a very floral taste. I'm sorry.
That was most pretentious thing you could have said.
But I asked, I was like, is it because they're grown near so many flowers? I was like, do you think that, like, the things that are grown nearby get in the flavor? And she was like, no.
She's like, you stupid American. No.
I fully thought you were going to say yes.
And my toxic trait is that I still think I'm right.
Okay, tell us about the Winchester House.
Yeah, I want to know.
Okay, so we're going back to 1839 in New Haven, Connecticut. Leonard and Sarah Pardee had a baby girl, and her name, you might have guessed, is Sarah.
Oh.
Nope. It's me, guys. I'm actually the one.
How old are you, Sammy?
I don't
How
know.
old are you?
How
really?
long have you been 27?
I don't like
you're not even 27 yet.
No.
Sorry.
Sarah Winchester, soon to be. But at the time, Sarah Pardee. She was beloved by the community and was very musically gifted and could speak 5 different languages. Do you want to guess?
French. English.
Both, yes.
German?
No.
Russian.
What's her name again?
Sarah Pardee.
Pardee?
I don't... Pardee. You guys are missing some pretty big languages
Spanish.
here. Yep.
She can speak Spanish.
Italian.
Oh!
Anyway, the beautiful Sarah was 4'10" tall, and she was known as the Belle of New Haven.
Aww.
Yeah, isn't that sweet?
I kind of would love to be like the town blank. You know what I mean? We don't get that anymore.
I know. None of the towns are small enough.
Small enough.
I will say, I reveal crazy things here. That's all I do.
Were you the belle of...
No, but I remember hearing the phrase, like, the golden boy, or like the golden child, or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. I want to be that.
Were you?
I, like, made it my mission to be that.
Did
I don't
you think you
know
succeeded?
that I succeeded. I can't answer that.
Let's call everyone you know.
Ask the people I grew up
Hi.
with. I don't think so, but I did do a lot. Like, I was pleasant.
You were pretty golden.
You're pretty golden.
I'm blonde.
You have golden hair?
Yeah, I was going to say, I did my best.
Does that mean I'm also a golden child? Because I have...
What am I?
Yeah.
The silence was loud.
Yeah, so anyways, cut to another New Haven family, the Winchesters. William Wirt Winchester.
Hot.
Wirt is his middle name. He was the son of Oliver Winchester, who was a successful shirt manufacturer and businessman.
Nice.
Yeah. In 1857, he took over a company which made the volcanic repeater rifle, which was an improvement to the rifles that they had been using prior to this.
Oh, wait, the Winchester rifle.
Yep.
Oh, that's...
Well,
like...
this was the volcanic repeater rifle.
Okay, sorry.
He's getting there.
Okay,
Correct.
Right. Yeah, got it.
Yep, just took over the company, not there yet. In 1860, his company developed the Henry rifle, which had a faster reloading speed and better magazine.
Magazines like the ammunition.
Thing where and they put it like underneath for this one. I guess that's better. I don't know. But this weapon was favorited by the Northern troops during the Civil War, and Oliver began to gain wealth rather quickly.
Wait, the Civil War?
Yeah.
When was that?
The 1860s?
Sure.
Great.
Is that a problem?
I don't know.
Is that a problem? Or you don't like?
Do you have issues? We can move it to the 1880s.
No, I didn't know. I knew at one point in my life, but I have since forgotten.
So, as he was gaining this wealth rather quickly, he renamed the company to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. This is where the Winchester rifle comes in. Not very snappy, in my opinion.
Depends how fast you say it.
Winchester Arms Company.
So, moving a little past, it's said that Sarah and William were childhood friends, and during the height of the Civil War, they got married. 4 years after getting married in 1866, they had a daughter named Annie Pardee Winchester. And
I like that they kept her
Me too.
maiden name.
it makes
nice.
me
Loved
really
each
happy.
Yeah.
They must have loved each other, you're right.
Cool. That's sweet.
Yeah. Well, first tragedy struck, so.
Oh.
Yeah. So her daughter contracted marasmus, which is a disease that causes stunted growth in children and the body wastes away due to deficiencies.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Horrible.
And this happened roughly 6 weeks or so after giving birth to Annie.
No.
So Annie passed away.
No.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. Obviously, this destroyed Sarah, and she turned inwards in herself and almost kind of went mad as you would when you lose a 6-week-old child.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. And then in 1881, 15 years after the death of her daughter, another tragedy struck Sarah. Her husband, William, now the heir to the Winchester fortune, got tuberculosis and also passed away.
Wait, so are they, like, famous by this point?
Great question. I would assume so based on his father's wealth at this point, and I believe... I did not write this down, so I could be wrong, but I believed Oliver Winchester had passed away at this point already, like right before William did, so William kind of already inherited this money.
But is the Winchester rifle, like, what it was?
Maybe.
Is? Okay.
Couldn't tell you. So, he passed away, and she inherited over $20 million, which, don't quote me on this, but is roughly $603 million now. Yeah.
Good.
She could buy a big old jacuzzi.
Yeah. Yes, she could.
That's pretty cool.
But she didn't.
Aw.
That we know of. I don't think they would have had that in the 1800s.
She could buy,
She could buy a hot spring.
Yeah.
She could buy a whole mountain with
She could
hot
buy
springs.
a lot of horses.
Yeah.
She didn't either. But not only did she receive $20 million, she also received 48.9% of the company with an income of about $1,000 a day, which roughly $30,000 a day.
A day?
This is what the sources tell me.
And all to a woman in,
Good
like,
for
the
her.
1800s? That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Hope she shared it with the poor.
Well, she didn't that I know of. But even though she had the great money, she still grieved for her husband and lost a child, obviously.
Yeah.
She was going through a lot.
She doesn't need to be, like, worrying about other people.
She needed to focus on herself in that moment.
fair.
Get herself
My bad.
right. Did she? We don't know. But the story goes is that one of her friends suggested that she should see a spiritual medium about her losses, specifically her husband, and she did go. And the medium had told her that her husband was there and described what William looked like. And that William wanted to tell her that there was a curse on the family which took the life of William and the child and will soon take Sarah.
Yeah. Oh my!
Yeah.
I love
and
it,
that this curse resulted from the weapon that was created by the Winchester family after thousands of people had died because of their weapon. And because the spirits are taking vengeance on them for creating this weapon.
I buy it.
There's gotta be a curse on a lot of modern families, like the Lockheed Martins, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think curses are still, like, around?
I hope so.
Do you think, like, the magic is still...
I'm not wishing
I like to
curses
believe
on
in the
people, but, like, I
No.
gotta believe that, like... There, you know what actually is the most modern curse I can think of that people speculate?
Oh, the Kennedys?
The Kennedys.
Yeah, that's true.
I also saw someone talking about the perceived curse on the Kennedys as a sort of, like, the richer you get, the less you think consequences apply to you.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of reckless living
yeah.
that happens. So they live fast, die young, and that's perceived as a Kennedy curse.
Interesting.
You know
That's,
what I mean?
generational wealth in a lot of ways and generational trauma are both real, like,
Curses.
easy to
so true.
mistake for curse.
Yeah.
But I do like to believe the magic and that stuff is still...
Yeah, no, I think, like,
even though
especially
curses are
if
scary.
I would love to look into, like, how was Oppenheimer's life after he developed the nukes?
Ooh.
You know, like, things like that. I don't know.
So true. Well, she was
Fascinating.
also told from this medium that William had said she must sell her property in New Haven and go towards the setting sun and would be guided by him to find her new home in the West and that she would recognize it when she gets there. Which...
Cryptic.
How crazy is that, though? Imagine, like, someone came to your door and was like, my husband who is dead told me this is my home. You know what I mean?
I'd be like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to pay more then?
Yeah.
Where's my home now?
She has the money to do so.
True.
I do think it's a very fascinating idea. And then also told her she can never stop building the house, and if she stops building the house, she'll die. That's where that comes
Whoa.
in. Yeah.
That was such a cartoon wall.
I'm shocked that I didn't know about this.
Well, shortly after this seance medium appointment, she sold her home and moved to California. She believed she was guided by William and did not stop traveling until she reached the Santa Clara Valley in 1884, where she found a 6-room home in San Jose, California, which was already under construction and owned by a Dr. Cladwell. And she convinced him to sell her the home and the 162 acres around it. Wow. Which I'm guessing is a lot.
Yeah, I would say it's a lot.
Once she owned the house, she immediately started to build, per the medium's instructions, via William. And she hired workers for the next 36 years, and they continued to build, rebuild, change, and alter every section of this house, kept making new additions and new additional, like, wings, almost.
Wow. That's a certain kind of hell, is to always be surrounded by construction noise.
That's so true. Well, not only that, she had 22 carpenters at work year-round and worked 24 hours a day to ensure that the building never stopped.
Okay, so her
husband
told her, like, they can't stop at all? Because if my dead husband told me that, I'd be like, okay, so, like, as long as they're working enough.
Working hours.
Right? Yeah, like...
But then maybe you die.
I guess so. She didn't want to take chances.
And I think at that point, like, she was maybe going a little mad and didn't know maybe what was real, what wasn't. Wow. We don't know. We don't know. That's the fun mystery of all of this.
Wow. So no one inherited the Winchester fortune?
I think that there was other Winchesters, but I don't think that... Because I did look up, like, do they have any...
living heirs?
Yeah, and it said that the Winchester family did move on, but it kind of ended, mainly, like, the story ended with her.
Hey, if you're a Winchester out there who knows what happened, let us know.
Yeah, please. Maybe you're my family. If one of their projects didn't work out the way they expected, they would kind of just build another room around it. And so, the mystery kind of just grew as the construction went on. As many people know, kind of going to list off a bunch of different things about this house that is fascinating. There are doors that are joined to windows, countless staircases that lead to nowhere, just walls, a blind chimney that kind of stops before the ceiling, closets that open up to walls, trapdoors, skylights underneath other skylights, doors that open to drops, like outside onto the lawn. And then there's a room with no floor or ceiling, and it's between her bedroom and the seance room.
Wait, what do you mean there's no floor or ceiling? What does that
From
mean?
what I can remember, it's like you're in a room, and then right next to you is another room that you can see the seance room below you and above. Like, it's like a room that has like windows, but it's not.
Cliff.
Yeah.
A cliffed room.
But it's technically a room. It is the weirdest thing. That's kind of what makes this house so intriguing. But tragedy struck again in 1906, and the San Francisco earthquake hit, and there were sections of the mansion that were destroyed, including the top 3 floors that collapsed and weren't rebuilt. And legend says that she was sleeping in one of her bedrooms and got trapped inside there for several hours and was convinced this was a sign from the spirits and were mad that the front section of the house was almost finished and needed to continue building it. So, to ensure that the house stayed under construction, she boarded up the first 30 rooms. And I believe they're still boarded up.
She needed a friend.
She needed one
kind
friend
of,
to say...
But she moved.
Yeah, she needed a friend to be like...
Sarah, babe.
Babe.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. Let's have a drink.
Come stay at my place. We'll drink a bottle of wine. I'll make sure you don't die.
Yeah, and once you spend one night and you don't die, you'll realize... It's gonna be,
Stop building, crazy bitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unless she was right and we're just the worst. That's like bad OCD is what that is. You know, like the idea that like you have to do this thing or else you'll die. If it were me and I had to never stop building my home though, I feel like I would do it in a more entertaining way.
What do you mean?
Entertaining?
Like, why would you build closets to nowhere?
I think that's actually more entertaining.
Really? I feel like I would be like, okay, I'm making like a pretty little theme park with different little houses and themes
I
of
see
different
what you're
things.
saying.
But I don't know. I'm just like I feel like I would like create a vision for that. Something that I could never finish but wish I could.
But that takes planning.
I was about to say. And time.
Yeah.
And if she's frantically like, I need to keep building, it's kind of like, I don't give a shit what you do. Mm-hmm. Just keep adding stuff. You know?
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I agree with you.
At some point, maybe regroup. Decide what you're building.
Yeah.
That's fair.
One mystery and fascinating, like, part of this house, and with Sarah specifically, and us Swifties are very familiar with this. Similar to Taylor Swift, it is thought she was obsessed and very interested in the number 13. So some examples of that are there are 13 hooks in some closets. There are 13 blue and amber stones placed in very special windows that she designed. 13 ceiling panels in the entrance hallway. 13 windows in the 13th bathroom, and more. The greenhouse had 13 cupolas. Every staircase but one, which was a different type of staircase, it was like a winding staircase, had 13 steps.
What's a cupola?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess.
I feel like it's something to do with
So apparently a cupola
area.
is like the top thing of a...
Oh, it's like a hat on a building.
A hat on a building.
I cannot wait. First of all, 13 everything. Taylor Swift should buy it. Second of all, I can't wait for Taylor Swift songs about Miss Winchester herself. Because Taylor brought Rebecca of Holiday House in Rhode Island on stage at the Eras Tour.
I don't know what Holiday House Rebecca is.
It's
no. You know the song Last Great American Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about her house.
Yeah.
So I'm I can't wait for the bop about
Sarah Winchester and
Winchester.
the Winchester Mystery House.
I kept building, building and building, 'cause you broke me down.
This is a bop.
13 stories and 13 windows.
The whole town thinks I'm crazy, but I'm
Not. Taylor, call me, babe.
Yeah. There's a lot of different symbolisms with 13 in this house. One of them being every Friday the 13th, the bell tolls 13 times on the 13th hour, which is 1 p.m. And then there's 13 types of wood in the grand ballroom, which, come on.
Anything with wood lore is cool to me.
Did you guys know that there is a phobia of the number 13 called, I'm going to try, triskaidekaphobia. So if you have this phobia, be warned if you ever go tour this house. Because there are a lot of 13s. But another thing about her, apparently, she would go to her seance room, which has 1 way in and 3 ways out. Don't know how it works, but I wouldn't be shocked based on her...
That sounds like PR.
Her PR team was like, let me think. It's got
man.
1 way in, 3 ways out.
It's doors that only swing outward from the inside.
Maybe. Or I'm guessing the roof. I'm guessing, because the seance room is the room that doesn't have, above it is the room that doesn't have the ceiling or floor.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's technically a way out, is going up. Another legend is that every night at midnight, she wears 13 various colored robes, and the bell tower will chime, and the spirits would then guide her on more construction. And then at 2 a.m., the bell tower would chime again, and that's when the spirits would leave.
I'm sorry, she wore 13 robes?
Different colored robes.
This is OCD.
Again, this is all speculation, but we don't know. Maybe she did. So, unfortunately, in 1922, Sarah Winchester passed away due to heart failure in her bedroom, one of the 40 bedrooms in this place, at age 82.
Did they stop construction?
They did stop construction, from my understanding.
I meant before she died.
No. Oh, I don't know.
What?
Should have looked that up.
That's important.
Samantha!
Fully didn't look it up. I don't think so. I think that she continued. It's just heart failure, I'm assuming. But as the house stands now, it's 24,000 square feet, 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms, 40 bedrooms, which it's said that she never slept in the same bedroom 2 nights in a row. 52 skylights, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, 13 bathrooms, 6 kitchens, 3 elevators, 2 basements, and 1 shower.
What? What? Are you serious?
1 shower for the 13 bathrooms.
How
13 bathrooms.
How often do they bathe? Are we excluding baths?
Well, it's just her living there.
Well,
and
I'm
her
sure
workers.
baths are different. There must have been.
They didn't give me a
multiple
bath
bathtubs.
number.
Could you imagine you sleep on the opposite side
You have to walk.
and you're like, gosh, I'm stinky today.
Let me walk 20 minutes.
Yeah, let me take a hike to my shower.
I think that bathtubs were more popular. I think. I know. I definitely know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the shower thing isn't being crazy then.
I think it's still wild.
I don't know how new the technology might have been for showers, to be honest. Because did she have... Obviously, this is probably not in your notes, but, like, did she have... She had regular plumbing? She had... I wonder if she hooked herself up to plumbing or not. Or if she just
hooked herself up to plumbing.
Like her house.
No, I know.
Was it off-grid? Was it, you know?
I don't think so. I think if she has the objective to build as much as she can, she might as well...
I agree. It's just, it was the 1860s.
If you're already doing toilet plumbing, you might as well add some shower plumbing.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's the 1860s, was it like city-wide water? I remember they were still bringing water up for baths.
You remember?
Yeah. Because I had Samantha the American Girl doll, and I read her historical book.
I never got to have an American Girl doll.
I think I only had, what's Kitteridge?
Kit?
Kittredge. Yeah, Kit.
Yeah, Kit Kittredge.
Kit, really? I actually don't think I had her, but I wanted her because I thought she was awesome. She wrote stuff, right?
She was a journalist. Yeah, an aspiring journalist. Yeah, they're all 10.
They're all 10. So, guess how much today this mansion costs? This might be hard.
If I put a premium on that it's cool and haunted...
$2 billion.
Oh, that's a lot.
I'm going to say less than that.
Great. Then I'm going to change my answer. You go first,
you
though.
answer.
And it's not the price of the mansion. It's how it was built. Like, the materials she used and shit like that.
Oh, how much she spent.
Okay.
Yeah.
600 mil.
90 mil.
So this is what shocked me. Apparently, it's around 71 million.
Okay.
It shocked me. Yeah, I was like, that's lower than I expected that to be, based on the house. But you never know. Decades later, in 2016, the mansion preservation team found a room in the attic that just hadn't been seen prior. And it was just like another bedroom, I think. It was kind of hard to figure out because there wasn't a lot of like details of these, I believe, 9 extra rooms that they have found recently. That they had not seen before.
That is weird.
I know.
That's crazy.
Which, like, how do you not... My guess is that they're, like, doors that don't look like doors type of thing, so that you don't think that it's a door.
Like bookcase doors where it's, like, the secret.
That's my guess.
Wow.
But isn't that wild?
To be on that Discovery team.
So fun.
Give me the show.
Yeah. Well, visitors claim it's haunted, and many people go there on tours to try to feel anything odd or see anything. And after her death, many people wanted answers as to why this house was built this way, and if it was actually haunted, as many people love to think. And even the one and only Harry Houdini went to try to debunk these spiritual rumors after she passed. But there isn't, like, anything said after it. So either nothing happened or something happened and they just didn't say.
Harry Houdini was famously anti-spirits.
Which is why he went to try to debunk it. But then nothing was said, which I think is fascinating. Like, I couldn't find any information on it. And no one knows. It's a mystery when he even went. He apparently did because rumors say that he actually suggested the name Winchester Mystery House, which wasn't actually, like, written. It was written, like, in journal articles, like, prior, but it was never, like, advertised or known as the Winchester Mystery House until after he suggested that. And apparently they had an escape room at the house that you could do that was specifically for him to honor him, which makes me think maybe he did.
What do you mean him to honor him?
Like, they had one named after Houdini to, like, honor him.
Oh. Wow.
Apparently.
Okay.
Which I think is very fascinating.
PR.
So 100%. Oh, yeah. So, the website actually states that there are 3 main types of hauntings at the estate. Intelligent, residual, and shadow. The residual hauntings are known to be, like, spirits stuck in a loop from a moment in their past that's, like, played over and over again on this loop.
Yep. That is more... Not to comment on each one, I won't. But when we think about hauntings, that's very believable to me.
Yeah.
Because if you accidentally happen upon another moment in time, which is
I agree.
physically a little more possible. Like,
fully agree.
If someone's just doing their thing.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 2 moments of time come together.
Exactly.
Moment. Yeah, and in the grand ballroom and the basement, people have claimed to see this wheelbarrow ghost that's working on a fireplace and pushing a wheelbarrow. barrow full of ash or coal. And I'm uncertain as if this is one of the workers named Clyde or not, but it's in a photo where this ghost named Clyde is, like, apparently around. I can't tell if it's that or not. The intelligent hauntings are hauntings that seem to have a consciousness and are, like, attempting to interact with you purposefully. And at the house, they are usually gentle, like, tugs on shirts and skirts during a tour. But a maintenance worker named Danny reports that in the water tower, he heard footsteps above him, so he climbed up the steps and continued to follow the footsteps to let the trespasser know that it was off limits and he couldn't be in there. But then the footsteps seemed to always be one step ahead of him, and then he got onto the roof and there was still no one there. Like, he followed the footsteps all the way up to the roof and there was no one there. Shadow figure hauntings are the most commonly reported occurrence in overall, I would say, and at the house. Okay. Where an appearance of a shadow-like human shape is manifesting. And these shadow figures are often reported roaming the corridors, hallways, and in the windows, looking out. There's a... I
got the heebie-jeebies.
I know. Those... The looking out of windows get me.
I get spooked every time we do a recording. Well done, ladies. I get a little bit spooked every time. Where I'm like, do I want to be alone here tonight?
Oh, right.
Sorry. No, it's fine. Gotta be brave.
You brave.
You brave. A former marketing director for the house took a photo in 2015 that people claim they see a human-shaped figure in the window. Looking out onto the gardens.
No.
They're just looking out into the gardens.
It doesn't matter what they're doing.
Wouldn't you want to look into the gardens when you're a ghost?
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, I have gone to this house when I was a kid, and I didn't necessarily have any, like, ghost or paranormal experiences, because at the time that I went, I was so young, and only had seen one ghost so far. And, like, didn't know that it would happen more. I kind of just thought, like, okay, well, my grandma passed away, I saw her, we're family, like, maybe that's why. And didn't really, like, process it until later in my life, so I didn't try to experience anything either. But the weird thing about this house that I did experience was that my old family house had doors that didn't look like doors, that you would have to, like, press on the wall, and it was a whole other room. And
what?
Yeah. It was the coolest thing. Best for hide and
seek. This is the place that you also, like, he gave you the place because he wanted you to have it.
The previous owner gave it to us for a much cheaper price because he loved our family and wanted us to grow up in his house.
Wow.
Yeah. And the, like, attic had tiny doors that you would have to, like, crawl through. There were a lot of different things in this house that reminded me of the Winchester house. So much that, like, her attic had the same roof that my attic did, but it was, like, a really weird slatted attic that I have never seen before in another house. It's a very odd attic roof. Yeah. The ballroom had the exact same wood floors that we did, like, in our ballroom.
You had 13 different woods?
No.
You had a ballroom?
Yeah, the Winchesters had a ballroom.
We had a ballroom.
Oh,
we called it, but here's the thing: we called it a ballroom because it had this giant window or a mirror, and my brother and I would play, like, spike ball and, like, stuff on it, so we called it a ballroom.
I am now seeing and understanding the cause and effect to why Sammy can see ghosts.
She's a Winchester.
I'm a Winchester.
She grew up in a house with a ballroom where ghosts were probably living peacefully.
And they did. Well, I wouldn't say peacefully, but I had I had felt this ghost in my closet for years.
I knew Sammy growing up. That closet is the scariest closet. It had a tiny door to the attic.
Yes.
In the closet?
So in my closet, you walk. It was a walk-in closet, which was incredible.
Yeah.
You walked in. To the left, it was more closet. And then to the right there, was this door that you had to, like, step up almost this high to get to the door. Into this, like, we called it Narnia in our home because we ended up putting a bar of clothes there. So it was this little room with just clothes hanging and this tiny door. Also had ladder there up to the main attic. Like, not the place you hang out attic. I've been up there. It's scary.
I would not want that closet.
No. So
and she had, like, dolls in there, too, which I was like, man.
I didn't like it. Hated it. I put a dresser in the way of this door. Mind you, that closet door never would stay closed. I would close it fully, it would open up.
No.
I would close it fully, it would open up. I hated this closet. And I never knew why. And now I still can't sleep. If I'm sleeping somewhere, I have to make sure a closet is shut because I can't visibly see a closet open.
I do that too.
Me too.
My bed was the normal way it should, like it was faced where my bed, I could look at the closet, and I turned my entire bed around so that I wouldn't be facing the closet.
One weird night that I don't know why I still remember it so vividly, which is why, like, I believe that it was more significant in my brain than I have registered it. I was like half asleep, and I had a little rocking chair for my bitty baby, or not a rocking chair, a rocking horse for my bitty baby. This is gonna sound so crazy.
I hate this already.
Me too. I'm like already tearing up.
I wasn't that creeped. I was a little creeped out at the time, but I still think I was probably hallucinating. I'm laying in bed. I either have like fallen asleep and just woken up a little bit, or I never fell asleep. I don't know which one it was. I'm younger because I still have the bitty baby set up in my room, and I'm looking at my closet door, and it looks like it opens, which I was like, impossible. There was no noise attached to it. There was no sound to any of this, but like a little.
Oh, I don't like it.
Like a little gnome,
with
like a little, like had a hat on, came out of the closet and like looked at the rocking horse and got on the rocking horse and rocked it and was like smiling.
Was it looking at you?
Then looked over at me. It did have red eyes. I'm so sorry to bring this up so randomly. And it was just rocking. And then I do think at the end it went back into the closet.
Did the door close after?
Yeah. The door for sure opened and closed at its will. But in my memory, because this is a very vivid memory that I have, I don't remember if I was really freaked. I'm so sorry. No. I don't remember if I was scared or not, honestly, in my memory. I don't remember. Part of me thinks that I literally just saw this and was like, okay, like, wild, but okay. And then it went back. Or I got really scared and I turned on the lights, and I don't remember which one it was. Like, I
either way,
I just, like, still to this day, I know the image very well. To this day, I was like, was I asleep? What was going on? Why did
I think a gnome came to your room? That's terrifying.
That's really scary.
It seemed like it was trying to scare me, and then I wasn't that scared, so it left.
It's like the whole, like, it's not. That's Monsters, Inc. Like, try to scare the kids.
Yeah.
And leave.
Like I posit that if we are going with this was an entity, it was like, I'm gonna freak this girl out. I'm gonna, like, go on the rocking chair and I'm gonna stare at her.
That's a great story.
have an image of this thing in my closet, and I don't know if it's because I saw it when I was a kid and I just blocked it out of my memory, or if I just, like, dreamt that this was this entity. And I have this, like, very non-specific but specific, I know that makes no sense, but non-specific specific image of this, like, thing that, like, crawled on all fours.
Nope.
And that was the thing that lived in Narnia behind my closet door and would continuously open and close my closet door to me. Yeah, that is it. I am curious, do you guys have any theories as to why she may have built this home and continued to keep building? Do you think she actually had spirits talking to her?
I think she thought she did, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think if she believed she did, then it was enough.
Then she did,
right?
Yeah.
Because I also think if she had stopped building, she would have had so much anxiety it might have killed her.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. So whether or not the spirits scared her well enough, or she just had this dreadful feeling that
anxiety
kind of went away when she was building, then
so be it.
It was real.
Yeah.
To her.
She kind of built a maze to confuse them, it seemed like.
Yeah. I always thought that, because I've learned lore of Winchester House before, I always thought that she built, like, staircases leading to nowhere and all that stuff to confuse the souls of the people who died of the Winchester rifle in her house, because she would be haunted by them, and so she'd build staircases that they wouldn't be able to find her in.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was mostly because this seer was like, if you stop building, you will die.
But I also, that's part of it as well. Like, maybe that is she doesn't want them to get her, and that's why she doesn't sleep in the same room every night.
Aww.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's so sad. Don't build weapons and then profit off of war, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm going to amend that because I do feel bad for this woman.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't her...
She married into it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that wasn't her, dream.
Yeah.
It's probably no one's dream. But it does seem that, a guilt will follow you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that's my lore.
Good job.
The Winchester Mystery House.
Woohoo!
The Sammy Winchester Mystery House.
That's exactly right.
We have a Winchester here to tell us the Winchester story, and that's special.
Only at Ladies Who Lore.
Ladies Who Lore.
Good night.
Thanks for loring with us today.
See you lore tomorrow. Nope. No.
See ya on the Lordy lore.
Okay, bye.
Ladies Who Lore. Lore.
Ladies Who Lore is produced and edited by Jesse Vane, Lindsay Whistler, and Sammy Winchester. Music was created by Lindsay Whistler. Today's sources can be found in the show notes. Want some lore? Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ladies Who Lore. And feel free to send us your stories to ladieswholorepod@gmail.com.